Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and today we're reading a Todoroki X Reader where we writes on Kodev. So let's get into it. Lian jerked the blanket off of her and fanned the smoke out from front of her. Sorry guys, my bad, she said cheerfully as her friends looked back at her. Does this happen often? Min asked, as Lian patted out the small flame on her shoulder. Only when I get super excited or mad, but it's usually just the first one. What do you think my main uniform is fireproof? She laughs it off like normal. We need to buy a fire extinguisher, Kaminari laughed. We should just keep back away from her. It might have a spark. Kirishima laughed. What was that to hear? Baku hissed at his friend as Lion chuckled. Yeah, we'd make a big bang, she said, trying to hold back her laugh. I'll blow you up, Lion. You hear me? He shouted at her as the group laughed. Right. Sorry, she said in between gasps of air. Stop laughing, damn it, he shouted at the group out in his arm. Everything was silenced by a knock on the door. I'll get it, she said cheerfully. She made her way to the door opening. Midori told me you'd be here. We have a project, remember? Do you really think it's the best time to be goofing off with your friends? Todoroki said, as he tilted his head to the side. Oh, right. Sorry about that. I'll be right with you, she said, her cheeks turning pink from embarrassment, and she gently shut the door before stumbling over her friends to grab her bag. Sorry guys, I have to go finish the project with Todoroki, she said, sighing. Do you really want to do a chest rise, yacht? He grumbled, rolling his eyes. Not exactly, but my grade is pretty important, so I'll see you idiots around, she said cheerfully as she hopped over her friends, spread across the floor, and out the door she went. Alright, do you want to go to my dorm? Or yours? She said, as she walked down the hall with Todoroki following behind her. Mine, since it's closer, he said as he came up to his dorm. She pulled out her laptop and plopped down into the floor. Alrighty, let's get this bad boy started, Wayne said happily as she started to type away. Hours passed until Lian finally was able to shut her laptop off and move it out of the way. She let out a content sigh. We're finally finished, Todoroki. As she stood, and before she could do anything else, her body burst out into a bright red flame. Todoroki scrambled up from his position on the floor and up to the girl, quickly cooling her cheek down with his hands, and a cooling sensation went over Lian and the whole room. Her flame slowly fizzled out, with the crackling of ice replacing it. Todoroki let out a chilled breath, and Lian was frozen in her tracks, completely captivated by Todoroki. He's really close, she thought, as she stared into his eyes. Neither one of them seemed to grasp the idea that they could move, especially Todoroki, since his hand hadn't moved from Lian's cheek. Sorry about that, Todoroki. That happens more often than I'd like to admit. Lian stuttered. She couldn't decide if her stuttering was the cause of the cold that currently consumed her in the room, or the boy in front of her. Did I make you too cold? He asked, as he removed his hand from her cheek, before placing his left hand on her cheek, slowly warming her back up. I'm so sorry. I gotta go, Lian said as she quickly grabbed her things, running out of the dorm, with her cheeks almost as red as Kirishima's hair. Hey, fire hazard dead, Baku said as he snapped his fingers in front of you. The hell are you dreaming about? He said. Huh? Nothing. Nothing at all. Oh? Does Ryan have a crush or something? Mina teased as she elbowed her friend as they walked down the hall to lunchroom. What? No. Mina, shut up, Ryan said with a pink face, which she gladly hid in her own arms. Sounds like she does, Kaminari teased. Y'all are so mean to me, she whined. I bet it's that stupid icy hot, Baku teased with a smirk. Come on, stop it. What if someone hears, huh? She said in hushed tones, gently pushing her friend. I can't believe you. Ryan huffed as he laughed at her. She couldn't seem to get yesterday's work session with Todoroki out of her mind. The feeling of his hands on her cheeks made her feel bubbly inside. Walked through the halls, she spared a small glance over to Izuku. Nice group of friends. In that group, she caught Todoroki staring at her. She then smiled as she gave a small wave to him, to which he returned. Once lunch was over, everyone returned to class, and Ryan went to her seat beside Todoroki. She listened to the lesson as she scratched things down in her notebook. She glanced over at Todoroki to notice him slipping in and out of sleep. He must have not got a lot of sleep last night, she thought, as she gently took his notebook from his desk and started to write down notes for him. Later into class, his eyes fluttered. Shut, he muttered as he rubbed his eyes. Here, Todoroki, I took your notes for you, she said, as she handed him his notebook with a bright smile. Thank you, Ryan, he said softly, as he took the notebook with a dust of pink on his cheeks, as their hands brushed each other. You're welcome. It wasn't a problem, really, she said happily. The spots of her skin started to burst into flames. Todoroki was quick to act, as he placed his hand on hers, sending a cooling sensation over her. Todoroki chuckled as Ryan blushed, and quickly turned her head away from him. As weeks went on, Todoroki was practically Ryan's personal fire extinguisher. Anytime she got overexcited, he would just gently lay his hand on her to cool her down, and ease the flames that overtook her. Soon, the two started to slip away from their groups and started to hang out with each other more. Currently, she sat with him in the stairwell, leading up the rooftop, sharing a small talk with one another. Ryan, I have a question, Todoroki said, as he looked over at her. Alright, shoot, she said happily with a smile. Do you have a crush on someone? He said suddenly. Her breath hatched in her chest. Yeah, why do you ask? She stuttered out. Who was it? He said, as he leaned a little closer to her. She stuttered, nervous. Is it Midoriya? No. Kaminari? No. What about Ida? It's not him either. It's Baku, right? He said, as his face was inches away from hers. No, it's not him either, she stuttered out. Then, Ryan. Is it me? He said, as his hot breath hit her skin. She gulped, before answering with a very small nod. She couldn't bring herself to look him in the eyes, fearing that they might hold disgust and rejection. Instead, Todoroki placed a gentle kiss on her lips, and Ryan was left in shock for a moment. Before kissing him back, Todoroki placed his hands on her waist as he gently pushed down against the stair they were sitting on, and much to both of their dismay, They had to break, to gasp for air. You have no idea how long I've wanted to do that. Todoroki said, breathless. Me too. I love you, Todoroki, she said with an excited smile. I love you too. But don't get too excited, right? I want to kiss you a few more times before I have to put out the flames, he teased, as he leaned in for another kiss, which Ryan gladly took. He slipped his right hand under the top of her uniform, the cool sensation sending a shiver over Ryan's body. She tangled her hands up into his hair, gently pulling at it, trying to get back at him for teasing her. Unfortunately for her, he wasn't shy at all, and it would be a long way before she could finally tease him back.